Wakes, welcome to Cost Atlas, the hidden cost of everything. Today, the cheapest thing in the store, and why it's the thing they most want you to throw away. That T-shirt cost you almost nothing. So who's paying for the rest of it? Fast fashion isn't really a type of clothing. It's a speed. 20 years ago, a brand released 2 collections a year, spring and autumn. Today, the fastest companies drop new styles every single day. Thousands of them. The whole model runs on one idea: make what you bought last month feel wrong. Because the product was never really the shirt. The product is the replacing. And to sell you the next thing cheaply. The system does something strange with the last thing. That's where the real money goes. Start with how much gets made. The world now produces somewhere between 100 and 150 billion garments a year. For 8 billion people. Production roughly doubled in 15 years. And a huge share of it is never sold at full price. Some is never sold at all. The clothes are made first, on a bet, and the bet is often wrong. That's the first place your low price hides. In everything made that nobody bought. Assure now the part you do all the time. You order 3 sizes, you keep 1, you send 2 back. Online. Somewhere between 1/5 and 1/3 of all clothing comes straight back. Here's what nobody sees. Getting a garment back, shipping, inspecting, repackaging. Restocking often costs more than the brand made selling it. So a lot of returned clothing is never put back on a shelf. It's liquidated, donated by the ton, or quietly thrown away. The free return felt like a perk. It's a cost. It just isn't on your receipt. And then there's the part that sounds made up. For years, the cheapest thing a brand could do with new, unsold clothing was destroy it. Storing it costs money. Discounting it cheapens the brand. So the maths pointed somewhere ugly. It was cheaper to burn brand, new clothing than to keep it. In 1 year, a single luxury brand disclosed in its own annual report that it had destroyed nearly $37 million of unsold goods to protect its image. And it was not alone. We know how common this was because of how it ended. France passed a law banning the destruction of unsold goods. The European Union followed. You don't outlaw something rare. You outlaw something everyone is doing. That's the tell. A system that finds it cheaper to destroy new product than to sell it isn't efficient. It's drowning. So where does all of it finally go? The unsold, the returned, the worn twice. Almost none of it becomes new clothing. Less than 1% is recycled in a closed loop. The rest ends up here. Mountains of Western clothing in the Atacama Desert. A tide of it washing through markets in Accra. And a simpler statistic that captures the whole machine. Around the world. The equivalent of 1 garbage truck of textiles is landfilled or burned every second. Every second this video has been playing, another truckload was buried or burned. So let's answer the real question. How much does fast fashion actually cost? Researchers put the value the world throws away in clothing that is barely worn and never recycled at around $500 billion every year. Not what the industry earns, what it wastes. $500 billion of clothing, made and then discarded, priced into a model that needs you to keep replacing. That's the number on the bill that never reaches you. Sequesa $500 billion a year is roughly the entire annual output of a mid-sized advanced economy, a whole country's worth of work thrown into the ground in barely worn clothes. And that truck every second. In the time you've watched this, around 600 truckloads of clothing were burned or buried. 600. While you decided whether the new one was worth $9. Here's the thing about the cheapest thing in the store. The price was always real. It just wasn't the whole cost. The rest was paid up the chain. In everything made that no one wore, returned that no one resold, and burned because burning was cheaper than caring. That's what we do here. We find the bill that isn't on the receipt for the things you thought you already understood. The cheap shirt was the most expensive idea in the room. You just weren't the one being charged. This was Cost Atlas. The hidden cost of everything. Next time, the hidden cost of a single cruise. And the bill that keeps running long after everyone's gone home.